At this moment, Niles Raven made his way through the crowd of warriors and stood beside Marius and his father.
Father, I am ready to fight alongside Elder Marius. I will do everything that I can to avenge Uncle Grimgor.
You? My boy, wait. Although it was originally the plan for Niles to fight alongside Elder Marius, the High Lord Raven began to doubt the merits of the idea. Now that he knew that Nathan possessed the power of a late-stage apprentice, he feared that Nathan would be too much for his eldest son to handle. After all, Niles was merely a lower-level apprentice that was many years away from matching Nathan's current strength. But before Remus could voice his doubts about his son any further, Elder Marius smiled and reassuringly patted his shoulder.
Don't worry, Remus. I'll watch over him like he was my own son. Within 3 moves, I swear I'll have the brat in pieces.
Marius wished to get the duel over with as soon as possible. After all, he felt the pressure of the crowd's expectations and felt that Remus's hesitation was insulting. After all, the power gap between Nathan and himself was still a massive one. In Marius's eyes, Niles wasn't in any form of danger whatsoever, as long as he did as he was told. As the High Lord Raven considered Marius's words, the taunts from the crowd grew louder, as they became bored with House Raven's inaction. After all, House Raven was one of the 3 powerful houses in the fiefdom. It was extremely dishonorable for them to appear so timid around a weaker noble house's challenge.
Hey! What's happened with House Raven? Why have they not sent out their challengers? Are the members of House Raven really that afraid of a kid? Why not just surrender now and save yourself the shame of defeat? Stop wasting time and hurry up already. We came here for action, not to sit around and watch you twiddle your thumbs all day.
The High Lord Raven's face grew red from the crowd's taunts. Finally, his anger overpowered his reluctance, and he nodded at both Marius and Niles. Very well then, Niles. I shall let you fight, but you must be careful. Take heed of Elder Marius's words, or you may not live to regret it. Now go, both of you. Make House Raven proud.
Yes, Lord Raven. Your wish is my command.
Elder Marius smiled as he confidently entered the ring and drew his sword. His eyes squinted at Nathan as he bellowed loudly for all to hear. Don't celebrate your murder too quickly, House Hayfield. First, you must dance with me for a bit. As Marius riled up the crowd, Niles slowly followed in his footsteps and stepped into the ring beside him. Finally, some supporters of House Raven made their voices heard once more.
Look! It's Master-level Elder Marius. He's entered a fight again for the first time in decades. Ha! Even with all of House Raven's talk of strength, they're forced to draw upon their oldest member to get the job done. Who cares how old Elder Marius is? His skill with the blade is legendary. There's no way Nathan Hayfield can survive his fury.
Nathan sighed as he squared up to face his new opponents. He knew he had to fully focus all of his attention on this fight. After all, Elder Marius was a legendary warrior who had been famous for many years and was the second strongest member of House Raven. His skills were said to be only slightly weaker than that of the High Lord Raven himself. Elder Marius smiled sinisterly as Nathan prepared for another huge fight.
Nathan Hayfield, say your prayers to the heavens now. I'm about to wipe that arrogant look off of your face with the tip of my blade. Now, prepare to say hello to your ancestors.
Nathan smirked at Elder Marius's words. As he retorted, he looked past Marius and Niles and raised his voice so the entire crowd in the stadium could hear him.
Oh, really? I'm the arrogant one. How can I compare to House Raven's arrogance? The way you treat your subjects is disgusting, working them to the bone without a second thought, threatening and bribing your way through life. How can I possibly come close to the arrogance of your clan?
Niles's face scrunched up in a scowl, and he stepped past Elder Marius and held his own blade up threateningly toward Nathan.
You best shut your mouth, you treacherous worm.
Nathan smiled as his eyes bore into Niles's soul. He could tell the older boy was speaking out of fear. After all, he had just seen his uncle fall to Nathan's blade. You're lucky you have your elder here with you, Niles. Without him, I doubt you'd have the guts to face me yourself. In fact, I'm sure this is just a ploy by House Raven to reclaim some of your lost honor from before. Unfortunately for you, that was a grave mistake.
You bastard!
Niles's face grew red from embarrassment, and he stepped forward as if he were to attack. But Elder Marius got in his young comrade's way. All three of them knew that it was true. Niles could not go toe-to-toe with Nathan. He was merely there to deliver a blow or two after Marius had done the dirty work. Elder Marius motioned for Niles to get behind him again, and reluctantly the boy did as he was told. Then Marius turned and chuckled as he squared up across from Nathan.
There's that classic Hayfield arrogance once again. Don't you see that you're outmatched? I'm getting tired of your voice. You know that?
Nathan grinned and chuckled back.
Old Master Marius, I don't care about your fame. I don't care about your age. And I don't care about your strength. All I care about is that you're in the way of me and the High Lord Raven. So, either step aside or prepare yourself. I shall have you lying on your back in 3 moves.
3 moves?
Ah! You insolent fool!
The tension rose between the 3 warriors as the official host of the aristocratic exam once again hurriedly waved his arms up and shouted out for all to hear. Let the second duel begin! Immediately, Elder Marius rushed toward Nathan with his sword held high above his head. Nathan simply held his ground this time and let the older warrior come at him. As Marius brought down his sword with the intention of splicing off Nathan's head, he channeled a large amount of spiritual energy into the blow. On one hand, he was ashamed of having to fight a child and wished to end this farce as soon as possible. On the other hand, he had an uneasy feeling about young Nathan and thought that perhaps he was even stronger than he'd admitted to being in the first fight. He wanted to ensure there were no surprise moves the boy could whip out against him. As Nathan saw the force behind Marius's attack, he couldn't help but smile. Such a strong attack at the very start. So, the old man saw through my bluff and realized I'm much stronger than I showed in the last fight. No matter, I too can channel spiritual energy through my body. As Marius's blade came hurtling down toward Nathan's head, he took a deep breath and channeled the power of Asura throughout his body until his very skin glowed a light red color. In a split-second reaction, Nathan's broadsword blocked Marius's head-chopping slice. The 2 blades cast off massive sparks imbued with the colors of their spiritual powers. For the audience in the stands, it was as if a fireworks display had gone off suddenly. Old Marius's years of battlefield experience kicked in, and rather than try to force his blade past Nathan's guard, he took a half-step back. His body shrunk down, and his lower half swept towards Nathan as he tried to kick the boy in the stomach. However, when the kick arrived, Nathan was not there. He had already dodged the kick by leaping into the air. At that very moment, Elder Marius grinned. Ha! You're not so clever after all, young warrior. I've got you exactly where I want you. This is for Grimgor, you scoundrel. Elder Marius's first 2 moves were in reality feints. He had actually intentionally failed before so that he could force Nathan into this compromising position in the air. Now that he had Nathan where he wanted him, he twirled his blade into a wide arc above his head. Hidden purple mist strike. This time, the entire sword was pulsing with a bright purple light, reflecting the fact that Marius's technique was many times stronger than Grimgor's had been. Although the attack had been Grimgor's signature move, he had learned this technique from Elder Marius personally. Thus, Elder Marius wished to avenge his prized student with the very same move.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.